Richard Del Connor is the philosopher poet of the hippie generation.
All right. And let's begin. Hello, everybody. Richard Del Connor, philosopher poet, right here. And I am going to sum up where this is the last of our, 28 podcasts that are promoting my Oboy album. And in fact, let's show. So we're okay. So this is a summary website, just real quick summary. So I could have made more out of it if I planned it, but I just want to get it done now. So anyway, here's the book. Okay, so it's the album cover, but this is the actual book, the Guitar Songbook. So this has all the lyrics with the chords above them and a whole bunch of cool pictures. So I think it's hopefully a good collector item. And what was the other thing? Oh, and then the music movie, which I think is really awesome. There's a couple of music videos here. I think the whole thing's really awesome. Even just the black background with the lyrics, I think is cool. And sometimes I did interesting things with the lyrics, which were kind of clever. So not much, but a little bit. So anyway, so let's review real quick. Those are the three products we're selling: the Oboy album, the Oboy book, and the Oboy music movie. Yay! I got three things based on these 17 songs here. And remember, these songs, most of these songs were from the 1980s, and they're live performances, which is why I love them. And I really want to say thank you, once again, to all the musicians I worked with during the 1980s. Well, my whole life, really. Because you guys are unsung heroes. You know, you worked with me and devoted a lot of time and energy, sometimes even money, to making these bands run and operate. And well, not much money. Maybe you guys bought beer and bongs, but nobody's ever really invested in the band. I never collected money or bought equipment with other people's money. So I've always done all that by myself. So they just invested their time, but a lot of labor. That's a lot of time. We were rehearsing 4 days a week in some of my bands, Monday through Thursday, and then planning on performing concerts on Friday and Saturday. And so 4 days we were performing all the time, and rehearsals were always about 3 hours, from 7 to 10. So within that time, we'd really work up a sweat, playing the set. The way I would always rehearse was, and this has to do with the manager of James Gang. We were friends for a while in the 70s. And he launched some careers. And he was telling me, his advice was this, and I'll share it with you. This is something he told me, which I've really lived by my whole life. He says, play your rehearsals as if you're doing a concert. And when you're in concert, play as if it's a rehearsal. So that's what I've always done, and it's always made it really fun and convenient. Took a lot of pressure off. And when we did it, and some of the best performances I've ever made in my entire life were in rehearsals. We did some just amazing performances in that little room. I mean, sometimes there were some groupies or girlfriends. Otherwise, it was just us musicians, 3 or 4 musicians, and that was it. A couple of girlfriends maybe, but we didn't have that much room in our rehearsal room in the Bat Cave during the 1980s to have other people. But anyway. We could fit a couple. I had a sofa, a leather sofa in there that people could sit on. So I was always hoping to have. It's nice when you got a couple people there to listen. It makes it more like a concert. So once again, the rehearsal becomes a concert. All I need is one person in the audience. I mean, I'm playing for the other members, but they're too focused to really give me much appreciation. They're doing their own thing. So if there was any people there, any girlfriends or anything, that just was awesome, because that meant that I had an audience. It made the rehearsals a concert. And then you get out there when it's a concert, and I can't really see anything, and I really kind of got those spotlights, so you can't see anybody out there anyway. So when I was playing a concert, I couldn't see where the people were anyway, oftentimes. So I'm just playing I just know they're out there. So I kind of learned anyway, that's another topic I was thinking. Okay, so let's summarize what we've learned. What have we learned here? Well, basically, I decided to just cover 5 websites and leave it at that. So what happened was we started off with, we got Shaolin Records, and Shaolin Records is my little record company, and I should have everything there that we need, and I think I do have it here, if we could find it. So the Oboy album is here, but it's not hooked up on the front page. You can't really get to it. So that's really, really bad marketing. I'll fix that. By the time you get here, that problem will hopefully be fixed. And then we got Shaolin Pictures. which is hasn't been updated in over 11 years, and so it needs something. But it's been pumping out. I've been making videos and music videos and stuff. So Shaolin Pictures needs to be updated. And then my Shaolin Digital website is where I'm going to make is where I do make NFTs. So I don't have any NFTs for the Oboy album at this point. I just lost my motivation to make any more NFTs. I haven't done them in a couple of years, but there could be, and eventually there should be and could be NFTs, and that would be through Shaolin Digital. And then the homepage, Richard Del Conner, that's me as a record producer, but I'm an artist. As of this album, this is the first album I've released is Richard Del Conner. So now Richard Del Conner is a musical artist. I mean, I always was, but I was always working under pseudonyms, all kinds of other names. And so RichardDelConner.com is obviously me. And I need to put some information in here, on the Oboy Music Movie. And then lastly is this fun website that I want to make into a really fun place that you'll want to go to see some music videos and listen to music and some cool stuff and maybe some funny commercials. So this is multimedia is not a modern word this century, but that's what we would have called it last century because it's got videos and music. And I won't have books there. Well, I mean, I could, but it's a performance entertainment website. So I've got these 5 websites to really kind of focus on promoting and selling my stuff. So hopefully Oboy Music Movie and Oboy Album will somehow be sold through these websites. It'll be the same exact thing, but I'm just offering it for sale on different websites. So there you go. And there could be other websites that have them, but to me these are kind of like if I got to narrow it down to some because anyway. There's my summary. What else can I say? There's probably lots I could say about that. Ask me a question and I'll answer your question. But this was a fun album, and like I said, it's a template for garage bands to create your own band. It's also for me a way to validate and give credit to a lot of the musicians I've worked with who otherwise would never have would never be released. All these things they did with me, and they get no credit because there's no products that they can get a credit on. So that's another reason I want to put a couple of products out here so that they can feel like they've achieved something. We were doing it to make a record. I think that was always our plan when we were starting to make music, but we always thought we'd have to have a record company. It was somewhere down the line we'd get financed and do it. But these musicians, they need a reward. In fact, the drummer has passed away, John Merritt. He's passed away 10 years ago, I think, which is a shame. I actually hooked up with him 20 years ago, but he was really involved in some heavy metal bands and was too busy to jam with me. Boo-hoo. But 10 years ago, in 2015, I think he passed away. He got hit by a drunk driver. So, yeah. And a lot of the other musicians I play with maybe passed away also. But that was kind of a drag because I don't think he ever got credit. He did a lot of stuff with me. He's on the Temptation album. He is on this album, and we did a lot of stuff together. So John Merritt, I feel bad. He never got credit before he passed away and realized he'd accomplished something. I mean, he knew he did then, but then he forgot. And although I give people cassettes of the music, they wear them out, throw them away, and they break, or you can't. Maybe they didn't transfer them to digital. So a lot of these people don't really have any way to remember what we even did together. But now they can. They got this music. So hopefully, if any of you guys aren't dead, contact me. Say hello. I'll put you on my next record. I'll put you on a current album that maybe you can make you famous a little faster. Instead of waiting 40 years for fame, maybe I can do it in four days or 4 months or 4 weeks. So anyway, let me know if you're alive and you're a musician I played with, because I'd like to play with some more. I like playing with all my musicians. I miss you, every one of you guys. I had a couple of half-assed musicians in there, really, but I missed everybody. Everybody was a good friend, and it's because I wasn't paying people salaries. I really have a deep appreciation for people just being there, and they weren't really doing it for me. They were kind of doing it for them, but we were doing it as a team. So in terms of our partnership and our teamwork, I really would like to give a lot of musicians more credit. So hopefully with this album, this Oboy album, they'll get the credit they deserve. Maybe their kids will like it. In fact, I did get called by one musician. He's on, the musician is on the Crimson recordings. He was a guitar player on those, and that was the only recordings I think he did with us. But I mentioned his name somewhere, and his son found it and pointed it out to his dad, and his dad contacted me. But yeah, maybe the kids of some of these musicians that are on these albums will be appreciative and want to have something that their daddy did, you know. So, okay, there we go. We're out of here. This is the last podcast of this series. Not even going to tell you what the next series is of Richard Del Conner, Philosopher Poet, because I could change my mind before I start them, because I'm going to jump over now and do Kung Fu Cowboy podcast series. And I've got about 120 videos to make, 120 podcasts, maybe more, about maybe 150. Because I've got all these, that's how many songs I've got ready and laid out and everything and grouped and arranged. I've actually, anyway, you'll see. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming, just a matter of time and effort. You know, I got the equipment now before it blows up, and I can make lots of stuff, and I can put it out there now, which takes a lot of work, but I can get it out there eventually. And then you can buy it, and then you buy it, and I can buy a car and get off food stamps. Yay! All right, you guys. Richard Del Conner, Philosopher, Poet, Kung Fu Cowboy, saying thank you for being here. And if you've watched all these podcasts, thank you for at least watching them. And I'm sure you know me at least a little better now. And I hope I've entertained you, maybe inspired you somehow, cheered you up. Maybe you learned something. I'd like to think I give value, you know, to people in terms of me being a knowledgeable person and smarter than most people. I think that I've got a value I can share and add. Most people don't have what I have to share. All right. See you around.